About a different kind of ring, one not made of gold, but one made of a very exotic steel, the 320 ring and pinion. This is the ring gear hooked to the wheels. This is the pinion hooked to the engine. This goes 3.2 times, this goes once. Well, this was a rule that was initiated by NHRA for safety. The speeds were approaching 300 miles an hour on drag strips built over 20 years ago, and that was a little bit much. So they got it, 9 mile an hour decrease. But usually with a new rule, Paul, there's some repercussions. You know, something might go wrong. But in this case, it was benefits. We got very close qualifying. We had 5 4-second runs here at Firebird, a track considered marginal by a lot of the pros, and a very tight qualifying field. This means good racing, folks. And so, with that in mind, let's go to the second round of Top Fuel.
And Don, you're absolutely right. The cars are running as quick as they did with taller gear ratios, and the rule has done exactly what it was supposed to do. They're having a hard time doing much better than 280 miles per hour. This is round 2 of Top Fuel action. It will be Jimmy Nix up against the snowman Gene Snow.
And you know, Steve, I'd like to mention one other thing. It has been awfully easy on clutches and crankshafts, and that's very important. That has cut the cost of racing down for these pros.
All right, the electric starter motor has come off the engine of Gene Snow. You can hear the unique nitro sound literally exploding in the cylinders instead of burning. Some 4,000 horsepower to be unleashed in the burnout, to put down some hot, sticky rubber and kind of build your own base to run in. Now, Gene Snow is up against Jimmy Nix. And a month ago, you'd have thought that's an easy one. Jimmy Nix had been out of the sport for 20 years. In only his 3rd race here at Phoenix, he is the #1 qualifier at 4.96 seconds.
And that is unbelievable, considering that he hasn't raced in years and years to come into the sport and buy a fuel car and run that quick.
Absolutely. The big smile for Jimmy Nix from Oklahoma City. And his crew chief and old pal, Bob Kreitz, who last year rinsed on Roland Leong's funny car.
And Nix will be facing none other than Gene Snow, who qualified #9 with a 5:05 and beat Dick LaHaye in the first round. His crew chief, former funny car competitor Brad Tuttle. Earlier, Snow was having some problems.
The weak link in Top Fuel dragsters, as of late, has been one of the most inexpensive pieces on the car, the supercharger drive belt. Gene Snow broke 4 of them in a row just last weekend. Now, here's one off of Snow's car that didn't break, but you can see the discoloration here. That's abuse on the belt. They won't run this again. Now, he feels he has at least temporarily solved the problem. This is the front cover off the supercharger that he was running. Notice a crack right here. Now, this is a very lightweight cast magnesium part, but apparently not up to the pull and the thrust on that front pulley. So Snow has gone to a different part that he feels will be more durable. It's a little bit heavier, but that doesn't make much difference. You can't win without your supercharger belt. Now, that one is of cast aluminum. They've made 3 runs and have not lost a belt. But there's other contributing factors. The new low gears mean higher RPMs. More fuel through the motor means more manifold pressure. Newer superchargers have heavier impellers, means they're harder to turn. Figure this, it takes 800 horsepower to turn that supercharger, and the belts were never designed for this use. They're just a commercial belt. The guys and gals are hoping that someone out there with a belt manufacturing company may take an interest in this problem.
We'll certainly keep an eye on the front of Gene Snow's motor. That's Snow over in the far lane. Nix in the blue car in the near lane.
Notice that Snow goes forward just a little bit further than Nix. That's called deep staging.
And it's Snow away first. Jimmy Nix maybe a little rusty off the starting line after a 2-decade layoff. It is Gene Snow advancing to the semifinals at 5:10, 2:57 to a 5:20, 2:47. Let's go back to the starting line. Don Garlitz with Gene's crew chief.
Well, it's real consistent.
Yeah, it is, and we'll make it more consistent. We feel like we're getting down further at the other end, and I'm glad we're working with Gene. We've got an excellent crew, and we'll be back.
May give you some idea, too, of the kind of run we will expect here at Firebird as we're at round #2 of Top Fuel. And here's a fella's done something no one else ever has. Kenny Koretsky, he's in his Top Fuel car, ready to face Gary Ormsby, but he is also qualified in pro stock. The first time anyone has ever done that in NHRA drag racing. Gary Ormsby pulls his machine forward, the familiar colors alongside as Koretsky starts his burnout. Ormsby follows out immediately. Don, more and more of the cars are deep staging this year.
That's right, Paul. It causes that slip that they get printed and given to them at the end of the track to show a better printed reaction time. Doesn't make their reaction time any better. It just looks better on print.
Let's go to the far end.
We can see why Jimmy Nix is out the low qualifier. The blower belt is gone. Gene Snow, the winner. You know that problem very well. You finally extended this thing a bit, though. 5'10", 260.
Well, it felt good, so we decided we'd keep on after it a little bit. The belt's on it. I am amazed. I'm pleased. I'm sorry that his came off, but boy, maybe we got rid of our bug for a while.
Tell me about the conditions, the track, the weather.
I think the left lane's a little bit looser out there in the middle. I mean, I know we got the tires loose. I could feel it a little bit, but it got through it. I think next time I'm going to take the right. It's not as good as it was in qualifying. They never are, but it's plenty good.
Good job.
Thanks.
Lane choice always critical, and Gene Snow thinking about coming into that near lane, should he have the lane choice, when he comes up in the next round. There's that blower belt. Big concern in Top Fuel racing right now. Kenny Koretsky brings his machine back. He also suffered a back problem, a vibration problem Friday in qualifying, and therefore is suffering a little pain in that car.
You're looking at one frustrated crew chief for Gary Ormsby, Lee Beard. They do not like this new 320 gear. They ran a much higher gear. They were a brute horsepower car. That's how they won the Winston title, and they're having a hard time dealing with it. Gary Ormsby qualified only number 10, and that's very slow for that operation. Lee Beard, no smile on his face. It may get better as the day wears on. Now they're up against Kenny Koretsky. You got to call this guy a rookie. It's only his second NHRA national event on the Top Fuel car out of Pennsylvania, but he has got an excellent crew chief, a man who's been around a long, long time, campaigned his own equipment, Mike Garrison from Fresno, California.
Well, I can certainly appreciate the pain, Paul, that Kenny's going through, because I had a back injury and drove a fuel car, and I had a full round to get ready each time. He's going back there and driving a pro stock each time between the Top Fuel rounds.
But Kenny said it hurts more getting in and out of the car than it actually does driving it. So he's in no pain as he sits there on the starting line, as long as the car doesn't shake violently again. Kenny Koretsky loses traction. Gary Ormsby wins it, and a ball of fire for Koretsky.
Kenny Koretsky tries to get the car under control. The parachute burns away. He jumps down on the brakes.
And that kind of bouncing around is the last thing a driver needs when already he's got a back problem, Don.
Oh, it must be just terrible in that car right now. He'd be lucky if he even get out of it, Steve.
Emergency crews, the NHRA Safety Safari on the scene, as they always are, the best in motorsports. Let's take a look, Don, one more time.
It looked like he smoked the tires and then must have over-revved the engine, and then something let go, and fire it was. And of course, it burned the parachute away, causing the car not to stop properly. Look at the thing burn up, and all that heat back there. It doesn't even look like the flames are there, but it burned that nylon parachute to shreds.
And down here at the scene, Don and Paul, NHRA's emergency people being very careful with Kenny Koretsky. They don't want to aggravate the existing back injury, but Koretsky courageously is helping himself and helping them extricate himself from the car. They have called an ambulance, and they will transport Kenny Koretsky, not taking any chances, which means he will not compete today in that pro stock car that he qualified.